welcome to the GTP. My name is Scott, and my friends, for you, I have a manga haul of over 85 volumes. Yes, last month we had only around 10, which is great. Unfortunately, this month there's just some really good just holiday sales, especially I'm looking at you, Crunchyroll, 40% off in-stock manga, even though I don't really like to buy from Crunchyroll anymore. I just could not say no to that sale. So with that, in this haul, the reason why it's just a little later as well is I tried to read as much manga as possible, especially all the current series and the new series that were new to me. I wanted to read at least the first volume, so that way I can just give you my perspective on it and not just say, hey, I got Undead Unlock 17. Oh, we revealed the first one, I know. But just, my friends, I won't reveal any quite yet on that, but I wanted to say, hey, if I did read Undead Unlock 17, this is what I thought of it, and that idea is to help just give you an idea of if this is right for you, right for your family. So with that said, I'm just going to try to go as fast as I can because I know these videos can tend to be even really long, even though I know some of you guys love these long videos. So before we do that, I'd love to know in the comments below, what did you either read or pick up this past month in November as well? As we're going into December now, you can go and share what you're currently reading as well. And I'd love to know, are you taking advantage of these holiday sales? Have you checked out our holiday gift card guide just to give you some ideas to what to pick up? So with that said, let's go ahead and start off with ongoing or missing series that I got from Viz Media. And the first I did get up was Undead Unlock, so volume 17. And then, thanks to that Viz Media sale, I picked up was Dark Gathering volume 9. So Dark Gathering was a series that I said I wasn't going to get any more volumes, but because of that sale, I went and I picked that up. And then we got as well another, and we're going through ones that we haven't read yet, Fly Me to Moon 24. It was another series I wasn't going to read. 25 and 26 were out of stock for some reason, so I got volume 24. And then because Jujutsu Kaisen ended as a series that I stopped because I thought it was okay, even though I know everyone seems to love it. Jujutsu Kaisen, the Viz Media app is completely done. I decided to keep picking it up, so here's volume 23. Just because I'm so close, I might as well just get the rest of it and we'll see what happens. I want to read it all at once and then give you a review going back to the Unholy Trinity, where I have reviews of Hell's Paradise and then Chainsaw Man Part 1. And this will be the final entry in that Unholy Trinity to give you what I think is the best of them all. And then we go into things I have read. So the first being One Man Punch Volume 29. This same arc has been going on for so long, and I looked it up on the Viz Media app. If I read this digitally, this came out, I think, I want to say in 2022. So it is so behind. I know these come out sparingly, but it would be nice if Viz Media kicked it up a notch so we could go into the next arc. I laughed out loud. I thought this was really good. If you like just a comedy series, One Punch Man is hilarious. And then the artwork is phenomenal by the same artist that gave us Eye Shield, which stings that we don't have. And then I picked up The Elusive Samurai 13. This felt like the 13. This one felt like the final, going on to almost like a part 2 of the series. I could easily see, I want to say a season 1, but I think it would take almost a season 1.5 for this. I think if they did a season 1 and then if they did like a part 1, have that be season 2, I think that would move to season 3 for the anime. Is this just changes so many things. We have a time gap here. Really, really good. I really appreciate the Elusive Samurai and just also learning about the Japanese history and what it was like to live in the 1300s in Japan. So I thoroughly enjoyed this series. And then next we have is Marriage Toxin Volume 4. I really do like Marriage Toxin. It's not the best series, but it is entertaining. It has phenomenal artwork. And then again, I've shared in the past before, if you can handle the idea of someone riding a shark and using that for transportation, that's sometimes the bonker stuff here. You're dealing with this poison assassin who realizes that he needs to be able to pass the lineage down, and to do that, to pass his clan, he needs to get married. And unfortunately, he's just not very good with women. This was a very good arc, and where he's on this island now, he's trying to, there's, other than poison masters, there's this beast master, and there's other masters for other things like a pole master, which aren't as cool, but he's fighting these different things, trying to save this girl, and who knows, maybe he'll end up with her. But I thought it was pretty entertaining. I had some laugh out loud moments. And then we go to Komi Can't Communicate Volume 31. You know, I absolutely love Komi. I'm still enjoying this series. It's so cozy, so wholesome. I know it entered its last, I think it's wrapping up soon, which is sad, but we have so many volumes probably still to go in America here. But man, really love Komi Can't Communicate. That was good. Yakuza Family Mission. This is Volume 13. I have an issue with this series where When we focus on the main story, it is great, it is peak, it's phenomenal. When we go to these side stories, I just want to move on. And they give you just a little signpost, because you'll be reading a chapter and then the next chapter comes in that isn't necessarily due to the story. It's almost like a side story. And at first I'm like, did I get a misprint? Is this, we just dropped this big thing. They're over here like in this mansion area. Why all of a sudden are they at home? And then there's like one signpost in the third, you know, like in the third like page, you're like, oh man, when we were at that mansion, remember this and this and this? I'm like, oh, come on. So when it focuses on the main story, it is peak. I really, really love it. These side stories I could do without of, but I am reading that. I did get some chuckles out of this. I did think it's funny, almost like Across the Spikes Family, but not as funny at all. But you're seeing these siblings together and the overarching story going on from, well, I'm not going to spoil it, but I am still enjoying the series when it focuses on its main story. Then we have Blue Box Volume 12. I recently did not a review-ish, talking about Blue Box does a great job just handling what it's like to be rejected. Phenomenal series. I absolutely love Blue Box. If you're looking for a romantic sports series, not quite just focused on sports, not quite focused on romance, wonderful series, and the illustrations are phenomenal. I thoroughly enjoyed this as well. And then Dan to Dan Volume 9. You know, surprisingly, I really enjoyed this more than I thought, and I know the anime just exploded the series even more, but this is just so, so good. The first volume I did not really care for, but at each volume really has increased and gone better and better and better, and there's many moments I laugh out loud. I was intrigued with the story, focusing on the idea if do aliens exist, do ghosts exist, and you find out both exist, and they're kind of like fighting each other, and then these people are stuck in the middle of it. I had many moments I was just laughing hysterically at this. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. Definitely not for kids. We have the parental discretion advisor. Not extreme as some things, but definitely not for kids. And Sakamano Days Volume 14. This is still a phenomenal, I want to say spy, but assassin series. Very, very good. Still enjoying this series. Even 14. I cannot get enough. I wish I had the next volume as they continue the current arc. It's very, very good. And then we have Kaiju number 8. This has been a big arc that's going on for a while now. These you can read really fast as there's not as much dialogue. Kaiju number 8 in the beginning was very, very funny, and they kind of tossed that to just go almost all action as you're seeing the team fight these different kaiju. So with that, I say as an action series, it's very good. So if you're looking for now just a non-stop action series, that's where we're at here. And again, it reads really, really fast. That one you might want to pick up on the Viz app. I don't know about collecting, just unless you do like collecting, I would get it. My Hero Academia Volume 39. Now, this volume here, I will say, they're on the last epic battle. The series ended with 42 volumes. The 42nd one is going to have some extra stuff in it, but I'm not going to spoil it, but if you've read around here, if you know what I'm talking about here, I'll show this. I'll show this here. I thought the author could have done better. There's a moment in a battle where I thought it would have been better if the villain ended up letting the hero die. That would have left a lot of pain. That would have shifted the narrative. I think the villain should have won on one of these major fights in this volume. I think it did not do the justice letting the villain change their mind towards the end. That really, really bothered me. I hope that's not too spoilerish there, but I thought it could have been better. I'm not for just killing off characters, but I thought in this instant, we should handle what it's like to grieve, what it's like to pain, and you're in the height of this, and so many of these Shonen stories, or Shonen Jump stories, where you have all these massive battles and then everybody lives. So that, you have it, there's My Hero Academia. Up next is Akane Banashi Volume 8. I actually had tears in this volume. I was crying. This is phenomenal. The series about Rakugo, which I knew nothing about it before, but just as Japanese storytelling, very, very good. I love the artwork. This is just completely different than anything else you're going to see out there. Highly recommend. You've got to check it out. This is one of my favorite current ongoing series. And then next we have Queen's Quality Volume 20. My daughter just absolutely devoured this. It's one of her favorite ongoing series. This is a phenomenal shoujo series if you're looking for a good shoujo series, and I believe it's wrapping up too. It's going to be ending soon. And then we have, I believe this is the last volume, Volume 3 of Kimi no Toki From Me to You Soulmate. We have the entire rest of the series, so now we have 1, 2, 3. I was just waiting to get all 3, and then we'll just read it all together. And then, so there's that. Record of Ragnarok Volume 12. These two people have been fighting for a while now. Here's Buddha, and I forget the name of this god. So if you're looking for just a turn off your brain, just battle series, this is really good. Although I am wondering, should I keep collecting this series right now? Is nothing's necessarily changing. I do enjoy it, but to think that I think there were around like volume 22 or up to 24 in Japan. I don't know if I want to collect and then spend the money for that many volumes just for the continued battle. I almost am at the point now where just tell me what happens at the end of the story. So I'm intrigued to find out. I don't know. I am collecting. I am caught up with the manga on the physical, but we're just at the point now, like how much longer is just going to be all these battles, and kind of would like to wrap it up a little bit. Then we have a series that is finished in Japan. This is volume 7 here, Boys Abyss. I think there's 17 or 18 volumes, so we're ways off here. It'll probably be about 2 years before we're done with this. Wow, this is a train wreck. If you like Goodnight Punpun, you're gonna like this series. This series just horrible. Everything that should not happen to the main character continues to happen to the main character. He's in this small town, and it's just people are taking advantage of him in many different ways, and it's just bad. And it's a car wreck that I should turn away, but I keep looking. It's definitely not for kids whatsoever. Very heavy on the adult content, so explicit here. Some of the volumes are completely sealed. These last two weren't. Hopefully that means we're starting to get a little lighter on some of this stuff here, but man, it's so good and so terrible at the same time, which might be a weird way to review a manga. Boys Abyss. Snowball Earth Volume 3. I'm actually enjoying this series now, especially now to the 3rd volume. This came out earlier this year. I think first one came out in, I think, April. This is this idea where this boy it reminds me a little bit of Evangelion, except for without the weirdness, but he is out in space in this robot, and he's destroying the last of the kaiju, and then he comes back to Earth to discover that that Earth itself is now frozen. Now, so there's these battles where some people can use kaiju, some people can't, and he's trying to just help society figure out what happened when he was gone those 10 years and how can he now unfreeze society. So Snowball Earth, this has been a pretty good action series. Definitely not for kids, especially second volume, not for kids whatsoever. Another series I have absolutely loved. This is going to be my #2 manga of the year. For new releases, this is Steel of Celestial Shadows. This is amazing. It's from the same author that gave me Casting, which we don't have a physical release. Have petitioned for Kodansha to get that out of digital jail, but wow, the artwork, the thought process in this, you're following this samurai who can't really be a samurai because anything that metal comes to him, he immediately just reacts to. So this girl ends up, for some reason, choosing to marry him and just becomes the hope of his life, and then she is kidnapped, and he's now trying to save her. Very good. This is a phenomenal series. If you've not read it, you've got to pick this up. You're not going to be disappointed in Steel Celestial Shadows. What else did we get there? Well, we end up getting Zom 115. I'm not caught up with this series from the same author gave us Alice in Borderland. It has to do with zombies and a comedy series. I got this because of the Viz Media sale for 40% off because I wasn't picking up this series anymore. And then with that 40% off, I also took advantage of Fist of the North Star Volume 14. I love the little blood splatter from the connections. If you saw my entire collection video, we have all the rest of the series. I think it's going to end by 17 or 18, so I might just end up picking up the rest because we're so close. But wow, I just wanted to take advantage of that 40% off because MSRP right now is $25 for these. I don't think that's necessarily worth it, especially because I'm not fully reading it, but whew, there we go. That's all of Viz Media. Let's go ahead and now move on to ongoing or missing titles that I received from Yen Press, which we got a ton, which I'm so excited for, and the Eyes Press line. Let's first go with Honey Lemon Soda. This might now be my favorite shoujo series, currently at least ongoing. So good, and seeing just the connections here with this girl who we follow this lovely girl here who ends up, she was bullied in junior high, and now she switched to a different high school, and then she meets this boy with this lemon soda hair, and he is sweet like honey, and it's just their relationship and how she's growing as a person. At first a little annoyed with her, just this weak person, but she's really grown into herself. She's developed some friendships, a high school antic. It is very wholesome, very good. Thoroughly enjoying, highly recommend. If you're looking for a good shoujo series, something for maybe your teenage daughter, this is a phenomenal series. I'm really enjoying Honey Lemon Soda. And then a series that is definitely not for kids whatsoever because of 3 chapters. I mean, there's some language, but that is Dead Mount Death Play. And I'm actually really enjoying the series. I'm surprised I don't hear more people talking about this. This is a reverse isekai. I mean, instead of you going into a different world yourself, the magical people have now entered our modern world, and the idea of this corpse god, he was a necromancer, very, very powerful necromancer in his society, and then he transfers over and now in a human body, and now magic. There's so much mystery in Deathbound Death Play, so much suspense. You just don't know what's going to happen next. Each new character they introduce is very fascinating. They have their unique abilities, which doesn't make sense how they have those abilities, and the system and everything going on. It's like they're trying to, like, one person is just very good with just magic in the sense of like a magician, but not like actual magic, if that makes sense. I don't know if you're following me or not. You know, the person who can pull a rabbit out of the hat, that type of person. So he's like, this has to be an illusion. He's just really good at his job, and he's now combating people who have actual magic. Very, very, very good. Makes you want to think just in the way of like what's happening next. Makes me feel like Lost, the series back in the day. So I'm really, really enjoying this. Not for kids whatsoever. I'm surprised more people aren't talking about it. And then one series I talked about dropping, but I have not read these yet. But I got Apparently Delusion Adventures Will Save the World Volume 5 and 6, and I ended up picking that up because it was just at 40% off. Now that series, it's an isekai series-ish. I like it. It's about, they're in this video game era, it's kind of like a video game, but not in their world, fantasy. They go in the dungeons. This group, they're all the rejects. They decided just to work together, and there's just very many funny moments. I just felt the story was like all of a sudden we're just on the side story, not on the main story anymore, and I just kind of bugged by it. I thought about dropping it, but getting 2 volumes for 40% off, I figured why not? And then I got 2 other volumes for 40% off because I thought why not for another series I've been collecting but just stopped. And that was The Saga of Tanya the Evil. This is another isekai series of this general that's now in this other world as this person. So I just need to read it. I just have so many of it, and again, I just have no other reason for this other than it was 40% off. It's a series I will want to do a review eventually. Another series I absolutely love, we are caught up in, and that is Shadow House. This is volume 7. I want to do a review of the series. I was waiting for the 7th volume because I felt that was enough just to talk about the story. Very, very good, very interesting fantasy series. Highly recommend this one. This is another one I don't see enough people talking about. I think there's over 20 volumes in Japan, so it's going to be a while for us in the States here, but following the shadows, they're in this mysterious house, and as the mystery unravels, say by volume 2-ish or 3, you're just sucked in it. I thought it was going to be the slice of life, the silly story, and then all of a sudden it just turned itself on its head, and it's like this dark fantasy mystery. So if you like a really good dark fantasy, this has been a phenomenal. Highly recommend Shadow House. Then we have here A Certain Magical Index Volume 29. I just continue to collect this series. I have not read it yet. I need to read it. I just have this, I want to do this umbrella with all the other index series. I don't know if they're going to reprint the series, so I feel like I just need to grab the volumes. Same with ReZero, Starting Life Another World, although because the anime just came out for this, I could see them doing more of these, so picked up this one as well. Have not read it yet, shame on me. But then we got Tokyo Babylon Volume 4. This makes, now after reading this one, this is a prequel to X. I really wish, and I regret that I never picked up X. So X right now I think is currently in between prints. I'm sure Viz Media will reprint, and yes, it's on a permanent hiatus. I don't think it'll ever get back, but really love this prequel. This has got me so sucked in. I'm really grateful for Yen Press giving us this special edition, which even gives us these lovely color panels, which turns into this lovely poster that we will never take out because we love the collection thing. So very, very good. Highly recommend Tokyo Babylon. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And then we now have Kowloon Generic Romance. Now this was the first volume that actually the shrink wrapping made sense, as the other ones had been in shrink. This one, the shrink wrapping made sense for it. This has been a very good slow burn and mystery story as you're following this girl in this called Second Kowloon, which is a city in China that was demolished, and it's like a new one exists, and she's discovering, you know, there's these, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a lot going on where this guy likes her, but not the her that's her. if that makes sense. Almost like maybe she's a different person. Is it psychological? Why does she have these memories? She's just a different person altogether. So very interesting. Interesting. Just now it says generic romance, which I understand now. Volume 8, really good slow burn series. And then we got Yaomushi Pedal. This is 26 of the 2-in-1, which, wow. Now, if we're looking at here, that is a lot of volumes, as we're now at, I think it's 52 if I do my math right. So yeah, we're at 52 then. How about that? Because they're 2-in-1s. I've been collecting this series. I need to start reading it, but I don't think this will be one that will get many reprints or if anything at all. So if you're on the fence of the series, I would be picking this up now, especially as some of the volumes are already harder to find. Now let's go to Eyes Press, because I love the Eyes Press line here. And then first we got is Omission Reader's Viewpoint Volume 4. This is phenomenal. Highly, highly, highly recommend. This is now probably my #1 series that came out last year. Just with the additional volumes, I think first volume came out in November. This is phenomenal. When the anime comes out for this, this will blow out Solo Leveling. If you love Solo Leveling, you're going to like this one more. Following this main character who, he's the only one that continued to read this book that apparently was terrible. And at the end, he ends up getting this thing, which is like a book on what happens if the apocalypse happens. And now he's actually living what happened in the book is now happening in real life. And he just knows a little bit more information, but things are now starting to change based off of the changes he's making himself. So good, so intrigued. I already want to read the next volume. And then we have the Tomb Raider King. This is ego to the max. If you think Solo Leveling main character has an ego problem, this main character here has even worse of an ego problem. And the only thing that bothers me is everything seems to go right for him, but it's a very good popcorn series. I always enjoy it. There's some funny moments here, and you're just seeing him just continue to dominate in his reign, as he's a person who, kind of like Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, you have this person who, he knows all this information. He ends up traveling back to the past, knowing what he knows now, and is just now changing the future for himself and taking advantage of getting all these artifacts, which have all these powers. And then we go into a series, it's probably one of my favorite sports series right now, and that is The Boxer. Very, very, very good. Even if you're not into a sports series, the storytelling, the character development is really good. There's times that I was teary-eyed in this. There's times where I am not rooting for the main character. I actually want the main character not to win the fight. And that tells you something. If a story can make it where you now have fallen in love with the side characters who is supposed to be fighting the main character and the main character is not a villain, that says something. Very, very good. You've got to check out The Boxer. And then we go to Jungle Juice. This reminds me of like X-Men superheroes, but instead of the superpowers, they all have bug powers. And now you learn about some icky gooey bugs in it, but it's just an action, almost very, very that, again, an X-Men society where they all are at the same school and they have powers based off of the different bugs that they have DNA with. Very interesting. A lot of violence. People do not always make it in this. I'm thoroughly enjoying Jungle Juice. So if you like something that's on more of the comic book side of superheroes, I think this one is really, really good. And before everything drops, the last one I got is See You in My 19th Life. This is volume 4. I really appreciate it. This is a more thick volume. This has been very good. You're following this main character who, it's the idea that when we die, we actually do come back, but we don't remember our past lives, but she does. And she dies as a young girl, and then she reawakens, and now she ends up she's younger than the person that she ended up falling in love with as a kid. In her 18th life, in her 19th life, she's trying to go ahead and win this guy back slowly, not trying to reveal herself just to freak him out. So really good. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. This has been a very good romantic series. Let's go ahead and now move on to ongoing or missing titles that I received from Kodansha. The first is Aruma-kun Welcome to Demon School Volume 10. Very, very entertaining, fun series. They're in this amusement park arc, which I believe ends with this volume, if I remember correctly. Very good. The only thing I want to worry you from is I believe we have over 35 volumes in Japan, so it's going to be a while before we get caught up. I know it has an anime that's very popular as well, but if you're looking just for a funny, laugh-out-loud series, you're following this human who is trying to survive demon school as not a demon. Very funny, wholesome. I'm thoroughly enjoying the series. Many laugh-out-loud moments. I'm laughing out more than I ever thought I would be for that. And then due to the 40% off, we got more the Stringerlock Frontier, Volume 13 and 14. I stopped picking up the series just because I'm not caught up with it, with everything else we're trying to read. So this is just because of 40% off. It is, again, another series we'd like to do a review for the channel. Another 40% off. I'm actually embarrassed. I did not know this actually there was a 7th volume. We have 1 through 6. Really good series here, but this is In the Clear Moonlight Dust Volume 7. Have not read this one yet. So if you're looking for I want to say it's shoujo. I don't think it's a josei series, but following these characters here, here's another excellent one that people absolutely love. And then one of my favorite series of all time that's made my top 10 2 years in a row, and that is Blue. I want to say 2 years in a row, I think. At least my top 20, Blue Period. I love stories that really tug on your heartstrings and just your heart and wanting just to grow and become a better person, and then things that just make you think about things you didn't realize you didn't know anything about or care about. So Blue Period did that with art. Following the world of art, this now person who has a desire and this dream to be an artist, and you just look at Yoguchi, you just can't help but root for him in his journey along. So phenomenal Blue Period. And then I butcher the name for this one so much here. Kaguta. I apologize. I'm not even going to say it. I don't want to. My son's been learning Japanese a while, so he always translates things for me when I apologize for Gauchi. Well, that's not even say it, but very good here. This gives me feelings of almost like an Attack on Titan a little bit ish. You have this main character here who lives like in the sky society, and then he falls to the ground, and then he is discovering there is a society out there, but it's just full of trash. And this idea that there's magical powers for the items that we've just loved so much. So if you had a stuffy that you just cared for and loved it, it's now something that's really powerful. For this main character, it's his gloves. His gloves are just super powerful. He can do a lot of great things with those gloves. So very good. It's very fast paced. That'd be my only bummer with this, is they do read super duper fast, but this is phenomenal. And then we got Blue Lock episode Nagi. This is a spin-off series. I'm not sure how many. I want to say there's 6 of these, but I'm actually enjoying this. I love Nagi. I really do love this character here. And then seeing Rio, just more of his progression was also interesting here. So this is a spin-off, but it starts off in where Blue Lock a little bit before when the Blue Lock begins. So very good. I enjoyed the scene, more of his side story here, and I just can't get enough of Blue Lock. Speaking of Blue Lock, here's volume 15, which is Kodansha now announced, I think starting this year in 2025, they're going to start doing 1 a month to get us caught up with Japan. Thank you so much for doing that. Yen Press, Viz Media, we got to start doing that with other series. No more of this, 1 every 4 months or so. Let's go ahead and get caught up. Let's do what Kodansha's doing. So Blue Lock, phenomenal soccer series, one of my favorite ongoing sports series right now. I know a lot of people say if you like this, there's probably a lot of other better sports series, but hey, I didn't know much about soccer. I'm completely sucked in. Really, really enjoying this one. Now moving on to ongoing or missing titles I received from smaller publishers. The first one of my very absolute favorite series of all time, and that is Skip and Loafer. Oh, this stole my heart last year. I made a review about it. It's very bit chirpy and uppy here, but man, very, very good as you're following Mitsumi here, as she is now in Tokyo from a rural area, and then she bumps into this lovely guy here, and they end up becoming fast friends and just following her antics in just high school and society. This story made me want to be a better friend and a better person and see different personalities. I wish I read this series when I was in high school. Really made me think, and just a really good slice of life series. Highly, highly, highly recommend you checking that one out. And then we got another Kyojin Volume 13. This has been a really good series I've thoroughly enjoyed. First couple of volumes I didn't like as much, as it felt more episodic, and then this major arc that we've been on for a while now has been really good as they're collecting these different stones. So don't too many spoilers here. The 2 volumes before us had some really good character development, some really good villains in this, and continue to have those people shine. Thoroughly enjoying this where they're at right now with this series. And then we got volume 3. This is from Ink Lore, My Love Story with Yamaka at level 999. Now I really do like, just back in the day I played a lot of World of Warcraft. Really dating myself, it's been a long time. I quit right before Burning Crusade. But when I typed /played, I had over 30 days in it, which I know is rookie numbers these days. As I have friends that did had years, but to know I spent over 30 days of my life on one video game, what could I have learned? What could I have done in 30 whole days? So I get some of that life, so I really interesting. I like here following this girl who, this guy's big in that game. She's playing this game to connect with him, and now they're, you know, she's starting to have feelings for him. He's kind of just not into it. I've been really enjoying this. This has been a really wholesome, just romantic comedy-ish series. Romantic comedy, yes, I would say it's very good. And next I got is Under Ninja Volume 4 from the same author that gave us I Am a Hero. Now, I've been enjoying this, and this is from Dempo, which has just phenomenal when it comes to the printing quality here. These French flaps, they're really affordable. The pages are nice and thick. I just love this author's his artwork. His artwork is just very unique, and this is you're following this idea in society that ninjas do exist. They're just more undercover, kind of like, I guess, like spies for America and Europe. Instead of spies here, you have these ninjas in Japan. So I've been enjoying it so far. Definitely not for kids whatsoever, but this has been a pretty cool series. And then a series that's definitely not for kids whatsoever, and I actually did not want to continue picking up, but for 40% off and seeing the new volumes they increased the prices, I decided that we'll just finish the whole thing since I already had 2 of the 5 major volumes here, even though I'm probably going against what I should be, but I'll finish it and we'll probably do a review in it. I'll have lots of things I want to critique and say is absolutely just wrong with the series, but there's many people, this is on their top 10 of all time, so I want to try to see and at least understand why would this be in someone's top 10. What about this series means so much to them? So with that, I want to read it and try to understand it. I think that's important sometimes in life, is I don't have to agree with somebody, but I at least want to seek first to understand where they're coming from before I'm going to go ahead and just want to be understood and say, I completely disagree with you. So with that, here is Homunculus thanks to the 40% off, or I think it was 45 with this because they did a combination. So Homunculus is complete. Is complete. This is the last one. So I'm gonna go ahead and read it. I mean, this one even has a higher price here. It's now they did $30 MSRP, which we didn't pay anything like that with 45% off. So, and the last thing I got, which I'm still just shocked I have it from Dark Horse. This is another Trigun Deluxe, which I have another one coming, which I want to say I filmed this video, which is today. So if you're like, when did he film this video? Now you know, and you're like, wow, yeah, it's crazy they edit, because it should be up hopefully tomorrow. So Trigun Deluxe Edition, really thoroughly enjoying this. I'm almost done with it right now. What I love about this is actually what I'm currently reading, but I was like, man, I really got to get this filmed, is now we're treading off of the anime, which is all I knew of the series was from the anime itself. Seeing more of the character development with some of the different characters and even with the villains has been really good. Really enjoying more of the lore and the backstory, because a lot of that lore just was not there other than like one major episode in the anime. So if you like the Trigun anime and you wanted more, this is the best way to get this right now, as the singles before we're out of print. Really grateful for Dark Horse. Thoroughly enjoying this, and man, I'm just really impressed with how fast these are coming out. So this has been really good. Thoroughly enjoying it. It is a bit of a fast read, but I gotta say I also really appreciate these huge pages. So this one definitely in my mind deserved this treatment. If I can find a cool page for you, like so, this deserved the larger print treatment. Just being able to see all the additional things here with the artwork. I'm really enjoying what they're doing here with this. So I'm really grateful for it here and being able to see the larger trim. So wow, I did a review on this. Just phenomenal. All right, I know some of you guys are like, let's just get to the new stuff, Scott. We just want to see the new stuff. Well, I have new stuff indeed that I picked up and that I was able to read. First is new to me from Viz Media, and the first thing we picked up was Kagurabachi. I apologize. I know this butchering. I'm really good. Wow. I started reading it just week by week on the Viz Media app, and I'm just not a week-to-week person, so I stopped. But wow, this is a really good first volume. I see why so many people like this. I was immediately sucked in. As you're following this main character in the very beginning, his dad dies, and it's just it's a good revenge story. He's out for revenge and wanting to go ahead and stop these bad people to doing more bad things. And The magic system is interesting in this, as he has this blade that has these different abilities and with fish, which sounds weird, but it's cool, I assure you. The artwork is really good. Definitely not for kids. Definitely some gruesome and graphic. I don't even know I should show you this page, but yeah, there's a lot of bloody stuff here, kind of like a Chainsaw Man a bit, but not the weirdness of Chainsaw Man. So very, very good. I see this is probably going to be a lot of people's number one. I believe it will be in my top 10 of series for this year. If you're looking for a good shonen action series, I think this is one a lot of people are absolutely going to love. And then I got a shoujo series. We got Colette Decides to Die. This is a 2-in-1, and this was good. I laughed. I enjoyed it, but I don't know if I want to continue the series. I'm actually a little bit on the fence with one. I'd love to know in the comments what you think. It's good following this girl here who she is an alchemist, and she helps people all the time, and she is just kind of done. So she just wants to be able to live her life and not constantly be busy with patient after patient after patient. And she just has given so much of her heart, and she ends up jumping into this well and ends up finding out that she's in the underworld. And now they have all these connections with a lot of Greek mythology, and you know, the Undertaker is not as bad as you would think, and she ends up helping him out in many laugh out loud moments. I did chuckle, I did enjoy it, but I don't know if this is something I want to collect. And with so many volumes, I think there's going to be I think 10 of these 2-in-1. I think there's 20 volumes total. So I'd like to see if it's where it's going on now, if it's more episodic. I'm not a big episodic person. If there's like a big more story going on, so I'll get the next one, but after that I'm not sure if this is one I actually want to collect. My daughter absolutely did enjoy this, so if you're looking for that slice of life ish part with a romantic series, I think this would probably be good up there, but I'd like to see it just do a little more than it already has, if that makes sense at all. So I'd say it's good, but to me, I didn't feel it was great. And last is something I wasn't sure I was going to pick up, as I'm not a big Magic the Gathering fan, but I picked up anyways, and that was Destroy All Humans. And one of the reasons, dang, a darn selling point is you actually get a Magic card. Are we going to open it? Absolutely not. We can't do that. This is a collector's item. So I think there's 12 volumes sold in the series. So I did enjoy this first volume. But I don't know if the artwork is for me. Some of the artwork here, it felt a little too more on the cartoony-ish here. But you're following this main character really into magic, and this girl who's very popular, and you end up finding out that she's really into magic too. But what I did like it, but she doesn't want people to know, what I liked about the series, there's a lot of nostalgia. They brought up Xenogears, which was my favorite RPG of all time. They brought up looking forward to Final Fantasy VIII. So there's a lot of nostalgia for me as someone who grew up in the 90s. And I remember when Magic first started coming out. I remember my friends had cards. They didn't know how to play or anything with it, but just collected the cards. So I remember that stuff. So for a nostalgia factor, I had a really good time with this. And so I'm going to jump on the nostalgia train and get the second volume and just continue on. And I believe they're going to give us a card for each volume. Now, I don't know if it's just going to be the first printing gets a card and the other ones don't. So if that's something where you want to go ahead and check out, this is one I'd highly recommend getting. And now we're going on to New to Me from Yen Press. And if you'd like to know more details of all these from Yen Press, you can check out my video on that, which we'll go ahead and we'll put a link for. Thank you so much for Yen Press for sending these and this opportunity to be able to let you know my thoughts on it. So real quick, I love the pastel colors. This is a teen exorcist if you're looking for an exorcist story. And then we have the Agents of the Four Seasons Dance of Spring. This is about this girl who was missing, and she has the ability to allow spring to come back. So this world has only been having winter, summer, and fall, and now she's given us spring again. I really thought this was pretty good. The Dragon Slayer, I know some people were upset that I liked it, but I thought this was pretty interesting. And then next we had this lovely omnibus, The Dracula's on the Night Shift. This is based off the light novel. I would like to see more of the, I don't know, the more of the manga's kind of come out, because this is complete in itself and leaves you on a bit of cliffhanger that you're going to want to go ahead and probably grab the light novel. Following this Dracula, this vampire, he just wants to have a normal life, just do his own thing. Now this girl's connected with him. Very interesting. Definitely not for kids. No one for not for kids. And if you like Record of Ragnarok, The War of Greedy Witches is for you. And then we have probably my favorite of everything I got was Mono. This is from the same author, gave Layback Camp, which I've never read, but I laughed out loud. I thoroughly enjoyed the slice of life. I now want to read Layback Camp, but this was really good. Highly recommend grabbing this one, checking it out. And then I got 2 light novels, The Festival of Heresies. It might be because I was dyslexic, but I really struggled following the story, and I got confused a lot on what was going on. Heresy is not just in its name, it is a heresy indeed, with some of the things mixing in with religion, and it just got kind of weird following this girl who's with this person who does exorcists. And then last, if you want a tearjerker, this is fully complete. This is In a World of Lies, I Fell into an Unforgettable Love. So really good. The entire thing wraps up, and then you get to see what happened afterwards. Some things didn't go the way I thought it was going to, but very emotional, and this made me think. So if you're looking for a light novel that makes you think, and it's not a light novel, it's just a novel. If you're looking for a Japanese novel that's now been brought over in English, I think this is one that's going to just give you all those feels. Now moving on to Kodansha, I end up picking up, which sadly after buying these, I read that it's going to finish with I think 4 volumes total. But I heard it's just a really good dark fantasy series. Say if you like Witch Hat Atelier, you'd like this one. And that is The Kingdom of Courts. So I got the first and second one. I am going to read it. I have not read it yet. I'm just bummed out that this story is not continuing. And I hope it ends well and it just wasn't axed. Because I've just heard very, very good things on this. So for 40% off, I wanted to grab this. And I don't know if I would have grabbed it now after hearing it's going to be ending this December. But we will see. We'll at least read these volumes. And hopefully we can get some cool stuff out of it. And now we got New to Me from 7 Seas, which we got 1 series that I've been actually wanting to read for a long time for 40% off. I grabbed the ones that were available, and then on Merry Manga I ordered the other ones that are on back order or not. But that is the 7th time loop. So we have 1, we have 3, and 5. So I have not read this yet until we get that. But I've just heard so many good things on this that I wanted to go ahead and pick it up. All right, thank you for sticking so far to the end. This is the last that I have for you. It's just one big series thanks to that 40% off. Series I did not want to get, but so many of you people just said over and over again, Scott, you got to check this out. So for smaller publishers, new to me, just our course, we end up picking up all of Gantz. So I end up getting the entire series because of that 40% off, and the volumes just continue to get up in price. So I'm like, if there's any time I'm going to get it and still take advantage of the price before went from to $20 to $25, and now I believe they're even skyrocketing to $30 on some of these. Yes, $30. Let's just get it now. It's going to get higher and expensive. I'll just read it, and then I don't know if I'm going to keep it. I read the first volume. I gotta say, I was very intrigued, very sucked in with the story. The story is really good. I see why people love it so much. What I did not like, though, in it was some of the just way too just adult for me. Some of the adult content was too heavy for me. And, you know, I thought it was interesting that, you know, when it comes to some of the male graphic stuff, we're going to go ahead and blur that, but not the female stuff. And then we're just going to kind of just throw it in your face, and even things that's just, it felt kind of forced. Some of the fan service just felt way too forced and just way too much for me for that, which I don't know. Again, I was very sucked in, intrigued what's going to happen. Definitely not for kids whatsoever, but I know so many of you guys said, Scott, you got to check that out, check out. So we'll probably do a review for this. But that was the last thing I picked up. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I wanted to be able to just be transparent with you, even with this. This is all that we picked up. Thank you so much for being a part of this community and this channel. If you'd like to see more content like this, you're not done already, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to the channel. It helps others know about this community that we have built together. Yes, we have built together. I'm so grateful here for all of us here, almost at 1,700. So thank you so much. Hopefully you'll have a wonderful day and enjoy the holidays, my friends. We'll see you on the next video.